had kind of a long, rough Wednesday going early to very late and just could not have the energy, could not have the actual focus to even produce the things you might have heard this morning. There were plenty of things to talk about, except they're all the fact that the government shutdown is still shut down and the fact that they were dueling town halls last night between one that was advertised by CNN with AOC and Bernie. The other was thrown together with Chris Cuomo and had in his guests, his usual suspects of Stephen A. Smith playing his political hack role and, Bill O'Reilly just being Bill O'Reilly, plus some other folks out there as well. Now, that was something, and there were things out there, little issues with getting stories posted, so there were some things happening, so I just did not have the energy to deal with it this morning. So I slept in late, got a little bit of rest, and tried to go forward knowing that the government's still in hell. And then this popped up on my phone this morning. The first thing I was there, and I just almost lost it. President Trump is promoting a new Paris-style triumphant arc, dubbed by some outlets as Arc de Trump, at the Memorial Circle across the Potomac at the Washington Memorial. Yes, Trump wants a memorial already, only being in, basically 4 years with a skip and then 9 months or so. Renderings and a desk model show a large stone with arc and eagles and golden winged figures intended to mark America's 250th anniversary in 2026. Backers say that the location in D.C.'s Virginia's Gateway by Arlington Memorial Bridge creates a dramatic entry to the National Mall, although cost, the funding source, and any timeline have not been formally declared. The birthday is basically, July, but it is in 2026, which is 2 months from now. The Washington Post, the Times, New York Post, all covering this great new story and a great new look and great new grift by Donald Trump. The concept draws on the Arc de Triomphe and other historical arches, including those in France. The architect Nicolo Leo Carbonell actually linked to the design for this one. The push traces an essay by architecture critics urging a semi-quincentennial arch and to the president's preference for classical styles. Photos of scale models on the Oval Office suggest an active planning inside the White House. They are not working on the government opening back up. They are working on some wars, 8 of them in 8 months, of course, but we're also working on an arch. Supporters frame the piece as a national symbol rather than a personal monument. Even if properly funded, a new memorial on federal land must clear the commemorative works arc process, including site design, reviews by national committees and stuff that usually takes years. Consultants and all sort of folks must be a part of this with National Park Service, which of course has its own issues with not enough people working right now, even if the shutdown. Congress typically authorizes sponsors for groups and sites like this. Environmental and historical preservation reviews come into it as well. It's a lot of red tape. It's a lot of time. These things don't just show up overnight, especially near Arlington National Cemetery and Memorial Bridge. With the government shutdown, slowing agencies to do, actual work, doing something like this seems like a non-starter. There have been challenges and things like this before, but this seems like new ground being broken. Backers say the monument art could actually align with the mall's visual axis, make a great view, and create a signature gateway to boost some tourism in the 250th. Despite people showing up for the 250th anyway, they just need to come because there's an arch. They also argue that classic design is legible to broad audiences, so no one's going to be complaining about wokeness. And private fundraising is a great thing for this. It could aid what's happening and, of course, limit taxpayer exposure for things happening in there. Also, do we actually need an arch? Probably not. Priorities during the shutdown, people not working, cutting health care, cutting benefits, and the scale and the traffic impacts for the sensitive gateway area anyway, and politicization of the commemorative space. Leave it alone because it is what it is, not make it pretty because Donald Trump's in office. They warn that bypassing normal planning steps, the years it takes to put these things in process as opposed to doing it in months and building it in months, is a problem. They also say the mall's landscape is already kind of saturated with things and people are already complaining about too many things there. Why add to it by adding more money, more time, more stress, more stuff with this one right here? It's a landmark. It may be beautiful. It will mark the 250th anniversary of our nation, and it just so happens to be, in this case, coincidental, maybe ironic, that the guy that's proposing it is the guy that likes to build stuff and put gold on everything. We shall see if the Trump Arch de Trump, becomes a real thing. And if it does, I may eat my hat.